So once again, for those of you who have just joined us, my name's Rebecca. I'm the owner of Hummingbird Consultancy, and I'm delighted today to bring you this session to tell you all about the fabulous island of Grenada and the beautiful boutique property 473. So just as a brief summary of the property. 473 Grenada is a really stunning boutique resort. It's a villa resort based on the southeast coast of Grenada. And the purpose of today's webinar is to give you a general overview of the property, but not just the property, but also of Grenada, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with the destination. Showcase 473 Grenada, the villas, the amenities at the resort, and highlight to you who the perfect guest for the resort is. Who do you sell it to? Which clients are perfect for this property? I also have towards the end of the session some special offers, some agent incentives, and so lots of information to share with you today. So to start with, let me tell you a little bit about 473 Grenada Boutique Resort. So I'm going to abbreviate that to 473 Grenada to make life easier. So the resort opened in 2018 and it's owned and run by two fabulous people, a couple from the UK, so a British couple called Mark and Jennifer Solomon. And this has really been their passion to have this resort and run a boutique resort that really provides their guests a home from home, a base, a place to explore Grenada and to really have somewhere that they can call home when they're visiting the beautiful island. It's a lovely secluded resort in a residential area, and I'm going to come to the location a little bit later. And it has 9 villas in total. So it is a small, I keep saying the word boutique because that is exactly what it is. It's a beautiful boutique resort with a really authentic tropical inspiration throughout, which you'll see as we go through this session. You'll see lots of different photos and you can see the Caribbean style and influences throughout the whole property as we go through. And the views from this place are absolutely stunning. So before we go into the property, as I mentioned, I also want to share with you a little bit about Grenada because it is important to understand what the destination has to offer for those of you who are not familiar. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes now just going through Grenada as an island destination in the Caribbean itself. So to start with, Grenada Tourism Authority, Pure Grenada, have shared with us their introductory video for Grenada. So I'm going to start by giving you a little taste of the island with this video. So that is Grenada. I mean, the Caribbean islands are absolutely beautiful in themselves. I actually live in St. Lucia, so I can't really complain. And I'm very used to the different islands. And Grenada, for me, has just got so much, as you saw in that video, so much to offer, which makes it very unique. So I'm just going to share with you some key facts about the destination. You may have heard it being called the Spice Isle, and that's because it's the major producer of spices in the world, with an emphasis particularly on nutmeg and maize. Grenada is actually responsible for providing a third of the world's supply of nutmeg, which is second only to Indonesia, I believe. The currency in the island is the Eastern Caribbean dollar, which is pegged to the US dollar at 2.70. So the EC dollar is pegged at $1 is EC 2.70. It's a small island, or I feel it's a small island. All the islands of the Caribbean are pretty small, which makes them lovely in their own right. It's only 21 miles by 12 miles, which is 34 kilometers long and 19 kilometers wide. So it's not a huge destination, and it means that you can really explore. And when you send clients to Grenada, they can really get a feel of the island. The population is quite small. It's only 114,000, just over 114,500 people, which was as of last year's statistics. And it's got a very high literacy rate, and with a really strong emphasis on providing absolute exceptional education. There's a lot of emphasis on schooling, colleges. Lots of people will go to Grenada for the educational experiences that they have at the island. It also is a huge chocolate destination. So I mentioned about the spices, but who doesn't love a little bit of chocolate? I know I do. The cacao trees were first introduced in 1714 by the French, who settled in the island since 1650. And cocoa has been one of the, second to spice, it's been one of the main exports of production in Grenada. It's also very safe, and I think it's really important to mention, especially when you have clients going to a destination they may not have visited before. It's got a very low crime rate. The crime rate index is only 21 on the global scale, and it's designated as a very safe destination. Having been there myself several times, I've always felt safe. The locals are lovely, and it's a beautiful destination which tourists can feel very comfortable in. So where is Grenada? So the island is located at the south end of the Grenadines, on the chain of the West Indies. It's just below Trinidad, it's just above Trinidad. Trinidad is to the south, Trinidad and Tobago, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines are the next islands up to the north. You have the Caribbean Sea on the west and the Atlantic on the east coasts. And the Grenada as a country is actually composed of the main island, which is mostly what we talk about, but also 8 smaller islands. So you have the island of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, Ronde Island, Kelly Island, Diamond Island, Large Island, Saline Island, and Frigate Island. And I think I've got them all right. So there's 8 other smaller destination islands as well. They're not really inhabited, but they are all lovely and they can be visited. So that's something, if people want to sort of do a little bit of mini island hopping, that is possible in the confines of Grenada itself. And it is really renowned for its lush landscapes, pristine beaches, vibrant colours. I mean, it's the Caribbean. It's very vibrant. It's got lots of fun to it and lots of culture. And it has a really unique blend of natural beauty and, like most of the islands in the Caribbean, a very rich history. So how do you get here? So now I've told you where the island is, where the Grenada is. This is how there's lots of connectivity. I mean, the great thing about Grenada is that they actually have very, very good connections. They have very good flights in. So, for example, if you're coming, because I know we've got people joining us today from all over the world, so I'll just focus on a few of the key destinations from the US, for example. Oh, sorry, apologies. Let's go back to that. So from the US, we have American Airlines flying daily from Miami. We have from Charlotte. JetBlue flies from JFK daily, as well as Boston once a week, which is a seasonal flight. Canada, anybody from up in Canada, we have 2 airlines flying from Toronto. We have Air Canada, which flies twice a week, and WestJet, which is once a week. But again, WestJet, like JetBlue's Boston flight, is also seasonal, so it's only in the peak season. From the UK, there's flights with British Airways from London Gatwick, which goes via St. Lucia. and that flies twice a week at the moment. And Virgin Atlantic from Heathrow is 3 times a week at the moment. It's 2 times, which is a regular flight, and then one of those extra flights are seasonal routes as well. But in addition to that, you also have lots of regional flights, which also makes Grenada great for any twin centres. So anybody looking to stay in other islands and come to Grenada as well. For example, into Caribbean from Barbados flies 9 times a week. From Trinidad Port of Spain, there's 11 flights a week. Caribbean Airlines also fly from Barbados daily. So there's really great connections to Barbados. So if you have anybody who's going to Barbados and wants an extra trip or wants to tag on Barbados after Grenada, really, really good connectivity. And the transfers from the airport, we're about 20 minutes from the airport. So you can see just in the bottom there, you can see on the bottom peninsula, on the bottom right-hand side of the island, where 473 Grenada is located. It's about 20 minutes from the main airport, which you can see just on the left-hand side on the peninsula, which is the Maurice Bishop International Airport. And the price for, if you wanted to get a taxi, is about $45 each way. So about $90 return for the transfers based on 2 people. But that varies because in Grenada, they have different pricing depending on number of luggage, depending on how many people. So it's not just a set fee, unfortunately. But that's roughly what it will be if you've got 2 people coming to 473. So the island itself is actually made up of several provinces. When you look at the island, as we go around, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about each of the different provinces. So the first, which is probably the most popular, one that you've probably heard of the most, is St. George. The French settlers founded the actual town of St. George in 1615 when the French came over, and it is the capital of Grenada, so it's very popular tourist destination. The province has got lots of key elements such as Grand Anse Beach, which you would have heard of, and it's also got one of the main port for the island for the export business, which, as I mentioned earlier, is huge for Grenada, especially for the spices and various other produce. The next province, so long as we go round, we're going to go clockwise from St. George's round the island. St. John is actually home to the largest nutmeg factory, and the Douglaston Estate is one of the spice plantations that's actually located in this province. The main town here is Oguave, which is a main fishing village as well. So it's got spices and the local industry of the fishing. And these are all, as you can see, they're on the left of the island. So these are all bounding the Caribbean Sea, as opposed to the right-hand side, which will be the Atlantic. So moving up, we then go to the smallest parish within the island. So the parish of St. Mark. It's only 9 square meters in space, 23 kilometers squared. It's only got about 4,000 people living in this province, in this sort of parish. So it is very small, but it's very quaint. It's again got fishing as the industry. It's got a really lovely village, which I actually went to when I visited recently, which is a small village of Victoria. And it's just a lovely, quaint parish to visit. So going up to the northernmost parish in the island, we have St. Patrick. Up at the northern tip of the island, stunning destination. Coastlines are absolutely beautiful here. And they've got a lovely beach called Bathway, which is really popular. It's actually got lifeguards. It's very touristy, but they have the lifeguards. So it's great if wanted to have a day out to somewhere different in the island. The next parish is the largest parish, which is the parish of St. Andrew. And St. Andrew is covering, as you can see from the map there, it covers pretty much most of the Atlantic coast. And it's got the second largest town in Grenada, which is called Grenville. Lots of history here. Several archaeological sites, plantations to explore. So this is like I said, it's the largest province of Grenada. And there's just so much variety here, whether, like I say, you're going to the archaeological sites, the forts, the ruins, or visiting the plantations, or just exploring the jungle, the rainforests. There's so much in St Andrew to watch out for. And then we go to the last parish of Grenada, which is St David. Very unspoiled. It's not very commercialized. It's not very built up here in St David. Lots of unspoiled rocky coastlines towards the mountain. There's a big mountain range there. And 473, as you can see by the little green dot on that peninsula, is borders pretty much St David, and it's in it's obviously actually in St George's, but it borders St David very easily. The island being as small or large as you want, depends on which way you want to look at it, as it is, you can actually drive around the island in about 5 hours. So it's very easy to explore. They've got good road infrastructure. And as I discovered when I was there a couple of months ago, the locals are very friendly. So if you get lost and you're not sure where you're going, just ask. And they're very, very happy to help. So that gives you a little bit of an introduction and some details on Grenada itself. Okay, so now let me tell you a little bit more about Grenada. Bear with me 1 second. My screen's just gone funny. Right, there we go. Okay, so now 473. So I've just had a couple of questions come in. I'm just going to quickly answer them. So Pamela, yes, all the recordings will be sent out to you. We've got a couple of videos in the presentation that you can also access, and I'll come to the end of the presentation where I can show you where some of those different links will be for you as well. Okay. So Robin, the waterfall that was just in the last slide is actually St Catherine's waterfall, and it's just on the border of St George's and St David's. So it's actually not far from the property, and it's absolutely stunning. It's really, really lovely. But yes, you are right, there's lots of steps. Okay. So getting back to the session. So 473 Grenada, as I mentioned earlier, is made up of nine beautiful villas that are all either 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms, and one actually has a private pool, and they range from either single story or to double stories. So I'm going to now start with their video before I go into more facts and figures. This is 473 Grenada. So welcome to 473 Boutique Resort in Grenada. So now we've whet your appetite with the video, let me now give you some details about the property. So I thought it would be important to share with you to start with the resort map. And the reason I wanted to include this is to show you how close each of the villas are, but they're all very, very secluded in their own right. So just to get a feel for how the layout is, right on the waterfront. So this isn't a beachfront property, it is a waterfront property. And there is a small local beach, which you can see just to the right-hand side. So there is access, but it's not in the property. So it's not directly from the property. And it is a smaller local beach. It's by all means not Grand Anse with all the lively restaurants or anything. It is just a small local secluded beach. Personally, I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's really nice and relaxing. But it's important to understand that this resort is not a beachfront resort. It is a waterfront resort. And right on those water's edge, you can see at the front there, you've got the villas at the very front, which is the 4 cliffside villas. And we're going to go through each of the room categories to share more as well with you. Then just behind that, so villas 1 to 4 are the cliffside villas. In the middle section, either side of the infinity pool, you can then see the garden villas, which are villas 4 and 5. And then further back, you've then got on the bottom of your screen there, you can see villas number 7 and 8, which are the loft villas, which are the 2-story loft villas. And then in the top left-hand corner, you can see Villa 9, which is the beautiful 3-bedroom luxury villa. Right in the middle, you can see the 70-foot infinity pool, which is also where the poolside dining takes place and theme nights as well. And as I just mentioned, the beach access, you have to come outside of the property, you walk down the perimeter, and then there's access to that little secluded public beach. So this year is a really exciting year for 473 moving forward. They've introduced several new elements which they previously, so any of you who knew the property previously, these are new additions for this year that are, well, they're actually introduced slightly towards the end of last year, but they're new for this year. So the poolside dining area is a new addition. So guests not only have in their individual villas their own kitchen dining areas themselves, so in-villa dining is absolutely possible and is an option. But as standard, the dining is serves community poolside dining. So that's almost like the restaurant area, the poolside dining, social dining area where breakfast is served as standard. Theme nights are in this area. There is a covered area, there's a covered gazebo. But like I say, in-villa dining is also perfectly fine as well if guests would like to opt for in-villa dining. Dedicated concierge. This year, the resort has introduced a dedicated concierge for every person who arrives. So when you arrive, when the guests arrive at the resort, they get allocated their own personal concierge. So that's that one person that they speak to for everything. So they're not having to speak to lots of different people for anything they may need. And that concierge is an expert in the destination. So if you have somebody wanting to explore or somebody who wants to have a wildlife session or organize a distillery tour, cocoa tasting, whatever it might be, that villa concierge is there dedicated for each individual guest. And because the property is so perfectly positioned for exploring Grenada, most people who come to 473 will actually hire a car because they like to go out and explore, or they like to have a driver to go out and explore. This year, the resort has actually introduced car hire inclusive rates. So if you have somebody who you know is going to want to be exploring and hiring a car, we've taken the hassle away from organising it, making sure you're finding a reputable company. The resort has a partnership with a local company who has the car hire. So we can also arrange that car hire for them as well. So that's really exciting. And nobody else on the island is actually doing this. And as I say, it's a perfect property for exploring Grenada. The island experiences that they're introducing, such as the theme nights, and that varies all the time. It depends on what the guests are looking for, time of year. But there are things like, for example, theme nights, a local barbecue night. There could be a Grenadian oil down, which is the national dish of the country. So lots of different theme nights, still banned out by the poolside. Really nice resort dining experience for guests to enjoy. And cultural events has been introduced already with things like spice tastings, rum tastings, cocoa making sessions, as well as other activities like wellness activities such as yoga, Pilates, for example, can also be arranged. And they've done that either in villa, depending on how many guests, or a group session poolside. And these also vary weekly. So these are the new things that previously, if you were aware of the property, have now been introduced just to provide guests with a lot more of an immersive experience at the property. So the main facilities, one of the key areas in the resort, which is absolutely stunning, I could just sit there all day myself, the 70-foot infinity swimming pool, which you can see there in the photo, just looks out over, that's the Caribbean side, so it's the Caribbean side of the island, and it's Old Harbour Bay, which is where obviously the peninsula that comes in. So look in the infinity pool. They also offer complimentary non-motorized water sports, so things like kayak, paddleboards. They also have snorkeling equipment, and there's actually a really lovely reef if you just swim out from there's access from the resort itself onto the water, or you can walk down to that secluded beach I mentioned. But they have snorkeling equipment available as well. No lifeguards or trained people to take anybody out. So it is at guests' own risks, just have to say the disclaimer. They've also got the shaded poolside gazebo lounge. So outside of meal times, just sitting down in the shade, poolside, beautiful area to relax in. And they also have a 1,500 square foot event space and social sun deck, where if you have anybody coming on a special occasion or they want to have a private dinner, they can arrange that sun deck to be available as well. They also have, in addition to their main facilities, but they can also organise in-villa spa treatments. There's daily housekeeping, personalised turn down services, something which is being spoken about a lot by guests because it's all infusing Grenadian culture into the turn down. So as I mentioned, going into the villas, we have 9 beautiful, well-appointed villas at 473 Grenada. We have 2 of the 1-story garden villas, 2 of the loft villas, that's the 2-story loft villas, and we have 4 of the cliffside. They're the ones right on the water's edge with 3 luxury, with 1 3-bedroom luxury villa. Let's start with what all the villas include. So every villa at the property includes private terraces, balconies, fully fitted kitchens, living area, dining area, air conditioning in the bedrooms. A couple of them also have air conditioning in the living area, but they all have air conditioning in the bedrooms if they're needed. Bluetooth sound systems, smart TVs, and as with most resorts, daily housekeeping service, complimentary provisioning service. So if somebody wants their villas stocked for themselves, they have a list which they can go and do the grocery shopping and make sure they're in the villa ready for guests' arrival, and that's provided as a complimentary service. And then tea and coffee making facilities, etc. as well. So we're going to start with our leading category, which is the garden villas. So the garden villas, we have 2 of these, and these are 1 or 2 bedrooms. So the way that it works, each of the villas that are 2 bedrooms or can be 2 bedrooms, have 2 separate bedrooms with 2 separate entrances. However, if somebody wants just the 1 bedroom, then that 2nd bedroom gets closed off. So it's still the 2-bedroom physical building, but they have access to just 1 of the bedrooms. All these rooms have the private garden, hence the name, the garden villas. And they're all in a lovely open plan layout with this lovely, I say all, both of them, should I say, 2 of them, have the living area, fully equipped kitchen, and these garden terraces with partial sea views and the garden area. Great for relaxing. And as I mentioned, we have two of these. The size, they're really good sizes. So 1,200 square foot. In the master bedroom, the main bedroom, there is a king bed. And in the second bedroom, there is a queen bed. Maximum occupancy is 4 because they're the double beds. And extra beds can be placed in the villas as well, accommodating up to 1 child and 1 infant extra in addition to the 4 adults. Moving on to the next category, we have our loft villas. So our loft villas were 1 or 2 bedroom again, and these are beautiful 2-story villas. Great open. I've got to say, one of my key highlights for these villas is the ocean view. So when you're up in the main master bedroom, you've got a lovely ocean view. They also have some great private spaces outside, so the spacious terraces for a little bit of outside privacy, but also the terrace area there. And we have 2 of these, both 1,200 square foot again, with the king and queen size beds, depending on which option and how many guests. And like with the garden villas, can accommodate also an extra 1 child or 1 extra infant. And you can see in this photo, they're the views that I'm talking about. You have these stunning balconies from the upstairs that just look out over the water's edge. It's beautiful, really, really relaxing. The next category to share with you is our cliffside with private pool. So there's only 1 of these, and I've got to say it's probably one of the most popular because it has got its own little pool there. It's 1 bedroom with a living area, and it's all sort of open plan with this private pool area which looks out over onto the large terrace area. So there's an outside terrace area which has a fully fitted kitchen and dining area for that real al fresco living style, but it is covered as well. So if there is a little shower, it's not a problem. And the views from this villa are stunning. You're looking out, you're right on the water's edge, and you look out over the rainforest mountains, which are across the old harbour bay that the property's situated on. Lots of wildlife. You have the lizards and iguanas, all sorts of wildlife, because you're right in the jungle but on the water's edge. Beautiful property, beautiful. And then we have the inside, which you can see here, which is all very open space. The pool's just on the right-hand side, and those panoramic views you can see in all of these, and you'll see it also in the cliffside, the other cliffside villas, which I'm about to show you. You've got these stunning floor-to-ceiling, practically floor-to-ceiling windows, which really brings the outside in, so you really feel immersed. Size of this villa is 1,100 square foot, has a king bed, and because it is just the 1 room, it's the 1 room suite, it has an occupancy of maximum of 2 guests. And I just mentioned those cliffside. This is the view from the outside of the cliffside villas looking down. So you can see those windows opening up right onto the water's edge, and you're literally sitting on top of the water. It's beautiful. You feel like you're really immersed into those panoramic views of the bay. Really lovely indoor-outdoor feel to these villas, and that's probably one of the features that I love the most about them. You just feel like you're on the water. It's absolutely lovely. As with the other villas, they also have a living area, fully fitted kitchen, and obviously those stunning floor-to-ceiling windows. And there is 3 of this category. So there's 3 of these villas, these cliffside villas. Slightly larger, 1,200 square foot. And as with the other 2 bedroom properties, they have 1 king and 1 queen bed in each. So maximum occupancy of 4 guests, with the extra of 2 extra children and 1 infant if need be. Okay. So now we move on to the final category of the rooms, which is the largest in the property. It is a luxury 3-bedroom villa. It is absolutely stunning. I mean, it's a standalone villa. You've got 1 of the rooms downstairs, the master room downstairs, with this beautiful spa-style bathroom area, which has its own little garden terrace. And then 2 bedrooms on the upper level. So it's on the 2-story for here. And as you can see from this photo, it's got this lovely, spacious living area, sofas, dining table. You've got a great dining table on the left-hand side, huge fitted kitchen. So this villa is perfect for families, if you've got groups coming, little retreats, really, really lovely, versatile space as well. Large gardens and living terrace areas just outside as well. We have one of these. As I mentioned, there is just the one with a 2,800 square foot capacity, but all of the rooms have king beds in them. So we do also have a separate area which isn't part of the main inventory, which is a separate area where we could put, for example, if you had a family that was coming with their nanny, which has happened quite often. So they've got the childcare that needs an extra room, or if you've got kids that want bunk beds, for example, there's another area which isn't part of the main structure of the room, but we can actually also accommodate just that little bit extra if you do have somebody who's coming with their childcare, or if you're looking for bunk beds or anything for the kids. But as standard, the maximum occupancy in the main rooms is 6, with additional 1 child and 1 infant extra beds. But as I said, we do have that option of a little bit of extra space if needed. So it's always worth asking if you have an inquiry that's interested. So that is the stunning 9 villas at 473 Grenada. So let me tell you a bit about the dining options now. So the dining at the resort, all of the rates that we offer are including breakfast. Their food is served poolside, or as I mentioned earlier, in the in-villa dining options are also available. Additional meal plans that are offered. You can also book half board and full board meal plans. So the half board, which includes breakfast and dinner, is a supplement of $65 per day per adult, or 30 for children. For full board, it's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's 145 supplements per adult. Children are classified from 12 years. Adults are classified from 12 years and upwards. Children under 2 are free, and anything from 3 up to 11.99, then they're classified in the children's rates. In addition to the meal plan, you can also opt for the private dining experiences, where you can have a private chef, because the villas all have their own fully fitted kitchens, dining areas. You can also opt for a chef to come in either all the time throughout the whole stay and be based in the villa, or on special occasions, or to do a specific meal, for example. That's also possible. Prices depend on what is being looked for, so it's priced bespokely. But it is certainly an option for guests if it's wanted. So that is the dining. I mentioned earlier about 473 being the perfect place to explore Grenada. And I just felt it was important as part of this session just to help share with you some of the places that are really popular for exploring. So you've got the Grand Anse Beach, I mentioned this earlier, which is a popular tourist area. It's about 30 minutes away, if that. So it's not far at all if they wanted to go out and explore the different areas. You have the underwater sculpture park, which is synonymous with Grenada, which was created by the sculptor Jason de Taylor, which is different statues under the water. Most popular, you'll see the picture of the circular figures with people of different ethnic origins all standing in solidarity together, and it's symbolized holding hands in a circle, symbolizing solidarity and unity. So it's really worth seeing. It's a beautiful place. And lots of other sites, all relatively nearby. As I said, you could actually tour the whole island in 5 hours. You can go all the way around. But these particular places of interest are certainly ones which are popular with guests that visit. So there's lots to do in Grenada, and this is all showing you how close by and accessible everything is. In addition to the main resort, there is also the option of having special occasions. So destination weddings is very popular here. I mean, Grenada's a beautiful destination anyway. But 473 are specialists in doing these special occasions. Great for those memorable moments that somebody's trying to organise. Destination weddings, for example, there's a dedicated wedding planner that really helps guide guests through the whole process. Various locations within the resort can actually have the ceremony. You can see this photo here is just on that secluded beach, which is just next door. Or there's lots of different locations within the property itself. Various different menu options. If they're having a wedding for 7 and they're staying for 7 nights, there's 4 free nights stay for the bride and groom. And there's also a 50, just to welcome guests back as well. If they do get married at the resort, there's a 50% discount for their first anniversary stay. Private celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries, special occasions. There's lots of private dinner options, event locations and options available, dedicated menus. Chef can create something bespoke, or we've got some sample menus that they can use as well. So lots of different options for anybody looking for that special occasion. I'll also mention here as well, the property is ideal for any retreat. So if any of you have clients that book retreats, because it is 9 villas, it's very secluded, it's quiet, it's in a residential area, it is also perfect for any retreats, whether that be a corporate retreat, a wellness retreat, yoga retreat. It's a really good destination for anybody who's booking those kind of visits as well. So something to note if you have clients that are in that landscape. And now I wanted to share with you some special offers before we finish. So some special offers that we've got currently at the moment. We have a great deal for a complimentary meal plan upgrade. So if you're, whether it's from bed and breakfast to half board or half board to full board, we have that option available. There is a minimum night stay of 4 nights, and it's available on all villa categories for this one. We also have a complimentary car rental. I mentioned before we're the only resort that offers car hire, car rental included in the rates. So if you have any clients that are looking to stay for 4 nights or more, then they will get 2 days complimentary car rental to go and explore Grenada. This is available only on the Loft and Cliffside villas, and it's a minimum stay of 4 nights again here. Just some terms and conditions for those offers. They must be booked and confirmed by the 28th of February. They are to be booked on a non-refundable and non-flexible rate, and they can stay anytime though up until the 15th of December. So there's a great booking window with this as well. There are terms and conditions, so if you have any inquiries or have any questions, then do let us know, and obviously we can share that with you. I will also wanted to share with you that there is some standard offers. So outside of these promotions, if you are looking at early booking, there are early booking discounts for example, if they're 45 days or more, there's a 15% discount. More than 60 days out, we can also offer 20% discounts, as well as a stay longer and pay less. So there's a stay pay deal for 14 nights where they only pay for 10. So there's some really, really good promotions and offers available. So do reach out if you have any inquiries. Okay, and now for travel advisors, for you guys. So for all of you that are on the call with us today as travel advisors, there's some special offers just for you as well through us. So we also have a increased commission. So for any bookings at the moment until that's made and confirmed until the end of February, there is a 15% commission available to you, which is above the normal 10% that's usually offered. And they're also offering travel agent rates, fam trips. So we are actually looking at putting together a fam trip later in the year, probably in a few months' time. So if you are interested, and that leads me on to the next slide, join our travel advisor portal. I think looking at who we have on the call with us today, I think many of you are already part of our network. But if you haven't already registered, we have our exclusive travel advisor portal on the Hummingbird Consultancy website. Sign up and register, and that is where you will see the latest information on webinars, special offers, promotions, and as I just mentioned, fam trips. So you can also register for fam trips if you're interested in visiting the property. You can register through our portal, and we would be happy to facilitate that for you. So that is hopefully giving you a great insight into 473 Grenada. Beautiful boutique property in the lovely South West Indies of the Caribbean. And if you have any questions, I invite you now just to pop them into the Q&A. And let me just, I've got some questions come in, so let me just go through those and let me answer them for you. Give me 1 second. And actually, just before I do that, just to remind you, after the session, once it's uploaded, we will send you a link to the recording. You can also get more information such as fact sheets, image information from our website. So once you've registered in the Travel Advisor portal, you can then access that information. In the link that you will receive for the recording, you will also have a link to a questionnaire. So if you have literally 5 minutes, it's just 5 questions. We always love to get feedback from our webinars. So if you could just spare a few minutes just to do that, that would be great. Okay, so let me go through some of these questions. Okay, so Edwin, hello to Switzerland. Lovely to have you with us. I'm sure it's a lot warmer here than it is in Switzerland right now. It's in Grenada right now. It's about 26 degrees, I think it is at the moment. A little bit windy, got a bit of a bluster going on, but it's lovely at the moment. So hopefully we can get you over to Grenada at some time soon. So the view from the water, from the cliffside, is of the waterfront. So if you look at the photo that you can see on your screen right now, at the bottom, just above, just in between where the 2 logos are, they're the cliffside villas. So you're looking out over onto that water. And the other side of the bay is because it's the harbour bay, the old harbour bay. So you're looking out over water. The land is behind you. So there is land in the mountains on the other side of the bay. I'm just trying to see if I've got another photo which shows that a little bit more, but I don't think I do. Give me 1 second. This one might help a little bit. So you can see here from the pool, so you've got the bay here and you can just see the tip. I'm pointing at my screen, you can't see what I'm pointing at. But you can just see the tip of the peninsula. So that's the edge of the peninsula that you look out over. And that's the other side of Old Harbour Bay. And then to the right there, you can see the main ocean. So hopefully that helps answer the question for you. But you can see there is obviously like you can just see there without playing the video, you can see, so this is from the other side. So 473 is kind of looking out over that sort of peninsula area. Okay, go back to here. Okay, so a couple of other questions. So the taxi, so from the main airport, so from Maurice Bishop, it's 20 minutes and the price is around 45 each way US. So it's 45 US each way for 2 people. However, obviously that price varies depending on luggage and various other things as well, but that's standard what it is, yeah. Okay. No, so every rate, so the reason why I didn't mention a breakfast supplement is because all of the rates are including breakfast, and the breakfast is served poolside. So where you saw the poolside area, that's where breakfast is served, or it can be opted to be served in their individual villas. Either way is no problem at all. Either way is fine. But yes, that's roughly where. So that's why there wasn't a breakfast supplement, because it's just a supplement for if you wanted to go for half board or full board. Okay. So, Bonnie, yes, you can snorkel. The resort has complimentary snorkel equipment, so the masks and the fins and things that you can use. And you can either go out, so there is actually a walkway into the water just from just the other side of, or alongside the cliffside villa, so you can go out straight from there. Or you can go to the beach and you can snorkel out from the secluded beach, which you can see there just to, as you're looking at the screen right now, to the left. And that's the public beach. And you basically just come out and walk down the side of the property and you can snorkel from there. And actually, when I went out there myself, there's actually some really nice little reefs and so lots of fish. So yeah, it's very easy to do. Just remember though, it's at guest zone risk. There is no monitoring, there's no lifeguard or anything. Okay. Right, well, I think that is all of your questions answered. As I mentioned, I will send you over the recording. You'll get an email with a link to the recording. Please register on the Travel Advisor portal because that will give you the first access to all of the information, promotions, offers. If you're interested in a fam trip to come and visit the property and come and see Grenada, please do let us know because we are looking at announcing a fam trip very soon to the property. And yeah, if you have any questions at all, my contact details are on the screen. If you have any inquiries, we're here to help you as much as we possibly can. So let me know and I would be happy to help. So thank you once again for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Happy New Year once again. And hopefully we will look forward to receiving lots and lots of your clients to Grenada and to 473 Grenada Boutique Resort. Thank you once again. Have a great day, evening, afternoon, whatever time zone you're on. And we look forward to connecting with you again soon. All the best. Bye bye.